that stands in memories each day. And it seems I can hear the bells now ringing, though I am many miles away. And many times on Sunday morning, the whole countryside would gather there. They would all kneel down.
Looking at the World War II chapel that used to set up there near the BX on Hill Air Force Base. And about 1968, it was moved down here before the wrecking ball got it. Then we were fortunate enough to have a reserve unit from Idaho who came down here, and they brought us up to code, and we can hold any kind of a public meeting. And basically, what you see is on the right and the left are the flags of the United States, each state, and along the two inner rows are significant flags of the squadrons, honors, what have you. They're battle flags and what have you. And the two center rows of the are this one over here is all the significant flags of the United States, and don't tread on me, up to the 50-star state one we have now. Up front we have two plaques. One on the right is Bernie Fisher, and one on the left is for George Whalen. Bernie was an Air Force man, and he received his honors in Vietnam because he had heard of a fellow during World War II who was in a single-seater fighter, landed on a stubble strip and picked up an airman who was in trouble. Well, what they were doing, they were defending a base which was being overrun by Vietnamese, and they had bombed it and strafed it, but they shot his buddy, his wingman, down. So he decided, remembering what he had done, what they had done in World War II, and a P-38, he said, if he can do that, so can I. So he dodged the bomb craters, he landed there, he didn't take time to open up the rear cockpit, but he set him on his lap and he took off from there. So we think he's highly deserving of that honor. George Whalen was a medic in the Marines in Iwo Jima. Now, all you have to do is to thumb back in your history and you can see that Iwo Jima was perhaps one of the bloodiest battles that we ever fought. But the high point of his career, he was wounded twice, and he went back to rescue a couple of his buddies. Even though he was pretty badly wounded, he dragged them more than 50 feet back to safety. Wow. He's quite prominent here in the, but really the highlight and the centerpiece of our museum is the stained glass window that was put in to honor the 384th Bomb Group, which fought from England during World War II. They were stationed in Upper Hayford, and there was a chapel there of the British Church that dated back to the 1500s that took care of all of the denominations. They had Catholic, Hebrew, Protestant, the whole mess. My former co-worker here, co-volunteer, we don't work here, we volunteer, was Nate Mazer. Nate was in that squadron, and when they had a reunion, they decided to give us this stained glass window. And also well, first they gave one to the original Church of England, and then this is a duplicate of that, but the stained glass window was made in England by the same artist, so it's really a masterpiece. It's titled Coming Home. You may not know, but we as kids, all of us in World War II were pretty well kids, we heard the romantic story of the White Cliffs of Dover. And that's a geological formation that is on the east coast of Britain. And when those pilots had finished bombing Nazi Germany and they saw the white cliffs of Dover, they knew they were pretty well home free. So if you'll see the little white there in front of the nose, that's White Cliff of Dover. What I've learned here, that strata runs under the English Channel, and there's also a White Cliffs of France somewhere. It ran right completely underneath here. That 384th Bomb Group also donated some bells to the Carillon there in Upper Hayford, and then they decided that we'll do a good thing. We'll donate a bell for the Hill Aerospace Museum, and supposedly every hour, if we pay our electricity bill, it'll ring. But I don't think civil engineering, I don't know who's responsible. We've got to get that thing to ring again. It'll ring. I can ring it manually, but I can't ring it automatically. But anyhow, that bell, that's a replica there of the bell that is in this steeple here. You can get that later.
Where's the bell at?
It's up there on the left, right in front of where the altar was. But they gave another bell to the 8th Air Force Museum. 8th Air Force was their parent organization during World War II in England. So every hour on the hour, all over the world, bells ring to signify what time it is. I myself, I'm the chief bell ringer for any weddings that we have up here. That's why I say we can do it manually.
Do you have the weddings?
Yes. In here, we don't have any religious ceremonies.
Oh.
There's no congregation of any sort, but it is open to to anybody that wants to. There's a fee for it. Most of them are all active duty military people, and a lot of them are in here getting married before the guy goes off to fight his battle. And it's rather nice. Now, what I didn't tell you, and I just saw you were taking pictures of the plaques here on the side.
Yeah.
These 8x10 plaques are dedicated to some of the prime movers who were responsible for getting this museum started, and for a lot of other things. We're quite ecumenical. We've got Navy and Marines in here too, so don't worry about that. Mm-hmm. And have you ever heard of Thule? Thule is the most northern base we had. It was built in northern Greenland. Mm-hmm. And I was sent to Boston, and we loaded up 3 ships. It went to several of the DEW line. Now, the DEW line was the first attempt we had at fighting the Cold War. That was to get radar impulses from any incoming foreign aircraft. And we landed at Thule, and it was the first.
There's a little white church in the valley that stands in memories each day, and it seems I can hear the bells now ringing, though I am many miles away. And many times on Sunday morning, the whole countryside would gather there. They would all kneel down by the altar as they lifted up the voice of prayer. Oh, the church in the valley, well, that little white church is a place I love so well. Now I'm sad.